Dear child, there is a reason these words reached you right now, at this exact moment. This is not random, and it is not an accident. Something higher guided you here because your spirit was ready and your heart needed reassurance. Lately, you have been feeling a change inside you. You may not fully understand it, but you feel it deeply. A strange 1009 of heaviness and anticipation. It feels like something is ending while something new is quietly forming. You may feel tired, emotional, restless, or unusually silent. Life may feel slow on the outside, yet intense on the inside. This confusion does not mean you are lost. It means you are standing at the edge of an important turning point. There is someone in your life you already know this message is connected to. You don't need their name spoken. Your heart recognized them immediately. This person has held a strong place in your thoughts and emotions. Recently, something happened between you and them that shook you deeply. It may have felt like distance, silence, rejection, misunderstanding, disrespect, or emotional coldness. It hurt more than you expected, especially because it happened when you were already tired and carrying so much on your own. What you didn't realize at the time is that this moment was not only pain, it was a test. On the surface, it looked like they were testing you, testing how much you could handle, testing how far they could push you, testing whether you would react, chase, explain yourself, or fall apart the way you once might have. They expected the old version of you to appear, the version that overgave, overexplained, and tolerated confusion just to keep the connection alive. They expected you to snap. They expected you to fight. They expected you to beg for clarity or reassurance. But something inside you shifted. You didn't respond the way you used to. You didn't collapse the way they thought you would. Instead, you paused. You became quiet. You stepped back. You chose restraint instead of chaos. And in that moment, something powerful awakened inside you. This test was never meant to destroy you, even though it hurt deeply. It was never meant to break you, even though it felt overwhelming. It was meant to reveal the strength you didn't know you had yet. It was meant to show you who you are becoming. You are not the same person anymore. You are calmer now, more aware, less reactive. You see patterns more clearly. You feel deeply, but you no longer let emotions control your actions. Silence has become part of your strength, and silence, when chosen with awareness, is not weakness. It is mastery. That person has been observing you for a long time, longer than you realize. They noticed how you handled disappointment. They noticed how you stay composed when others lose control. They noticed how you carry pain quietly without becoming bitter or cruel. They noticed how you kept your dignity even when your heart was hurting. Instead of honoring that strength, it unsettled them. When someone sees real emotional strength in you, it can force them to face what they lack within themselves. Your growth highlighted their stagnation. Your independence made them feel their influence slipping away. So they tested you, not because you were weak, but because you were strong. They wanted to see if they could still move you emotionally, still control the situation, still pull you back into old habits. What they didn't realize is that you were already changing before this test ever happened. This situation wasn't truly about your reaction to them. It was about your reaction to yourself. Life held up a mirror, and it looked like a person. Through them, you saw how often you gave too much too quickly. You saw how you ignored your own needs to keep peace. You saw how loyal you were, even when loyalty was not returned. When they pushed you, when they tried to see how much more you could take, something unexpected happened. Instead of losing yourself, you found yourself. You discovered patience you didn't know you had. You uncovered strength buried under years of being underestimated. You found a calm that only comes from deep inner growth. You realized you don't have to fight to prove your worth. You don't have to chase to be chosen. You don't have to explain yourself to be respected. That realization changed everything. You stopped chasing answers outside yourself. You stopped needing closure from someone who kept you confused. You stopped defending your heart to people who never truly listened. You stopped pouring energy into situations that drained you. You chose distance, not from anger, but from self-respect. That detachment wasn't cold, it was healing. Behind the scenes, while they were waiting for your reaction, the universe was watching your growth. It was watching whether you would repeat old cycles or finally choose yourself. And you did. You passed the test by staying grounded. You passed by choosing restraint over chaos. You passed by walking away with dignity. Because of this, your path is shifting. New opportunities are aligning quietly. New connections are forming. New blessings are moving toward you, even if you can't see them clearly yet. This experience also revealed truths you can no longer ignore. It showed you who truly supports you and who only pretends to. It exposed hidden envy and silent resentment. It showed you who needed you emotional and reactive to feel powerful. And most importantly, it showed you yourself, your maturity, your growth, your strength. You now understand that real power doesn't need noise. Real confidence doesn't need explanation. Real victory doesn't require revenge. Sometimes the greatest win is simply choosing peace and moving forward. Your calm unsettled them. Your silence made them look inward. Your dignity made them question themselves. Pressure didn't break you, it refined you. They can feel your energy changing. They can sense your boundaries. They know your life is moving beyond their reach. And here is the truth you need to remember. When life decides to reward you for your endurance, no person can block what is meant for you. No delay can cancel it. No test can destroy it. What is aligned with your soul will always find you. This difficult season was not proof that you were failing. It was proof that you were being prepared. You were being shaped, sharpened, and awakened. This person was not your enemy in the bigger picture. They were a catalyst, a mirror, a trigger that pushed you to stop asking why this happened to you and start asking what it was preparing you for. That shift changed your entire energy. You are no longer seeking approval. You are seeking alignment. You are no longer holding onto temporary connections. You are preparing for lasting blessings. you are no longer repeating cycles. You are breaking them. Something big is coming. Quietly, steadily, and purposefully. It is already moving toward you. And this time, it will meet you as the version of yourself who knows their worth, protects their peace, and walks forward without fear. Breathe. Stay grounded. Trust what is unfolding. You didn't lose. You didn't fail. You passed. And what is meant for you will not miss you. When this person tested you, they unknowingly revealed the season of life you are entering now. It wasn't just a moment of tension or confusion. It was a turning point. You are no longer in a phase where you break under pressure or lose yourself trying to be understood. You have entered a season of rising, a season where you no longer wait for approval or chase validation. Instead, life begins to meet you where you stand. Opportunities, connections, and blessings start moving toward you because your energy has shifted. That test showed you very clearly who you can no longer be. You can no longer be the person who explains themselves endlessly to someone who has already decided not to listen. You can no longer be the one who gives until they are empty, hoping kindness will earn loyalty. You can no longer trust blindly, ignore red flags, or sacrifice your peace just to keep something alive that is quietly draining you. That version of you did not disappear loudly or dramatically. It ended silently, with understanding. And in that silence, something stronger began to rise. A new version of you emerged. One who knows when to speak and when silence is more powerful. One who understands that walking away does not mean failure, but growth. One who protects their heart without feeling guilty for it. One who no longer reacts from emotion, but responds from wisdom. This version understands that strength does not always look like confrontation. Sometimes it looks like restraint. Sometimes it looks like calm. Sometimes it looks like choosing yourself without needing to announce it. The test was never meant to stop you. It was meant to signal a shift from surviving to elevating, from confusion to clarity, from chasing answers to receiving truth, from holding on out of fear to letting go with trust. Life was showing you that things are rearranging because something significant is ahead. And this time, you are stepping into it fully aware of who you are and what you deserve. The person who tested you did not expect this outcome. They expected reaction. They expected explanation. They expected emotion. They expected you to bend, to doubt yourself, to shrink. But instead, you stayed grounded. You stayed composed. You stayed quiet. And that quiet strength unsettled them. They didn't expect you to detach without anger. They didn't expect you to rise without making noise. They didn't expect you to glow even brighter after being challenged. Now they are realizing something they overlooked before. You were never fragile. You were never weak. You were never someone who could be easily shaken. You were steady. You carried discipline, depth, and a kind of strength that doesn't need to be loud. Their test exposed more about them than it did about you. It revealed their fear, their insecurity, and their lack of emotional depth, while revealing your resilience, self-respect, an inner authority. They are questioning why their test didn't break you. They are replaying moments, trying to understand how you walked away with your dignity intact. What they don't realize is that while they were watching your reaction, life was watching their intention. Tests are never one-sided. When someone tries to measure you, they expose themselves. When someone tries to push you, their motives surface. When someone tries to shake you, their stability is revealed. And in this moment, the test that was meant to expose you ended up exposing them. Because you stayed true to yourself under pressure. Life responds differently now. When you choose maturity over chaos, the universe notices. When you choose silence over revenge, doors begin to open. When you choose dignity over desperation, paths appear that no person can block. What followed that test wasn't just emotional growth. It was a deep internal shift. The moment you didn't react the way they expected, you stepped into a higher level of yourself. Your energy changed. Your presence changed. The way people perceive you changed. What was meant to pull you into doubt pushed you into clarity. You began to see through intentions that were once hidden behind words and smiles. You began to feel what you once ignored. You realized that silence is not weakness. It is awareness. It is strategy. It is power. You also began to see your environment more clearly. The test exposed who grows with you and who feels threatened by your growth. It showed you who truly supports you and who secretly hopes you fail. It revealed the difference between people who clap for you and people who clap at you. You saw that some people stay close only to measure you, not to uplift you. Others stay distant because your strength forces them to face their own lack of it. In that realization, you learned one of the most important lessons of your life. Not everyone who tests you deserves access to you. That understanding alone elevates you. It makes your spirit lighter, your mind clearer, and your future feel closer. You become more selective with your energy. You stop giving people free entry into your world. You protect your peace without guilt. You set boundaries without explaining them. And the person who tested, you can feel that shift. Even if they never admit it, they sense the distance. They feel the loss of access. They recognize that they can no longer reach you the way they once did. That realization unsettles them, not because they lost control, but because they realize they never truly had it. They only had access because the old version of you allowed it. Now they are confused by your calm, confused by your silence, confused by the strength you carry without displaying it. They tried to touch your insecurities, but instead revealed their own. They tried to expose your weakness, but exposed their fear of your potential. They tried to pull you into doubt, but pushed you into self-awareness. This is what happens when you outgrow a space, a mindset, or a connection. You stop seeking closure from people who lack depth. You stop depending on others to define your worth. You stop chasing answers and start attracting clarity. You release people not out of anger, but out of wisdom. You stop fearing loss and start valuing alignment. You stop shrinking to make others comfortable. You begin choosing peace over chaos, alignment over attachment, purpose over approval. You walk with a confidence that doesn't need to be loud. You carry strength that doesn't need validation. You move with a vision that doesn't need permission. And because of that, life begins clearing what no longer belongs. People who cannot go where you're going begin to fall away. Situations that drain you begin to dissolve. Paths that felt blocked begin to open effortlessly. This is how the universe works. It removes what you've outgrown to make room for what matches who you are becoming. It does not take things away to punish you, but to protect you. And now that you have shown you can stand strong without bending, life is preparing to place something in your hands that your old self could not have carried. That test did not happen by accident. Life was watching to see if you were ready. Ready to receive. Ready to elevate. Ready to release what no longer aligns. And you proved it, not with words, but with silence. Not with reaction, but with restraint. Not with force, but with self-respect.